But yeah, let's talk about Clover now. If you follow me on Twitter, I put out a tweet earlier about two different data sources, or just two little things I was looking at. Maybe not little, maybe they could be really important. I guess time will tell. Let me just pull that up really quickly if I can. All right, so I tweeted this earlier today, basically saying I've discovered two interesting data points for Clover. The first point was the current historical IV, or implied volatility rank, on Tradeitics, which is a website I use quite a bit. We're going to go on that website in a little bit. Is currently under 10. Every other time it was under 10, there was a local bottom for Clover. The other point I saw was at all those local bottoms, the daily predictions on Webull were went very bullish very fast. Now on Webull, which is a trading app, they have this little feature where all the retail traders can kind of vote on whether they're bullish or bearish on a stock. And you would think that that would just kind of be useless. Like, who cares what other people think? Like, it's all about how the stock moves and the news and the technicals. But looking at the data, the traders on Webull actually have been doing a really good job of identifying the trend for Clover. I haven't looked at this for other stocks. I don't know if it holds up across the board, but we're gonna take a look at it. So first of all, for what I'm talking about with the IV rank under 10, if I pull up this image, you can see you have, a chart over here with the IV rank of Clover. This can provide insights into how different is the current IV compared to the historical IV, right? So when you have options or just a stock, sometimes stocks will move very frequently up and down. Sometimes stocks will move very little. For Clover, it went from $28 to $8 pretty fast. But then once it got down to this $8 range, it's been starting to do nothing. Clover's pretty much been between $7.90 and $8.50 for I don't even know how long now, more than a few days. So now it's kind of just being very, very tight in this little consolidation range. So really the IV rank is just telling us, compared to the past, what is the volatility level? And for right now, it's very, very low for Clover. It's in a really tight range, like a 50-60 cent range for the past week or so. And really what I was doing when I was looking at this today was I noticed every single time that the IV rank came down to under 10, which is these low points over here, we had a local bottom on Clover. And I showed it on this chart over here. So we had a bottom over here around March 24th on the IV rank under 10. And then on March 30th, just a few days later, that was literally the bottom for Clover before it went to about $9.30. Happened again if we look at May 6th, right? And then we come over here. It did take a couple weeks then, but May 19th it bottomed out. Even on April 15th, you can see over here, you came pretty low to 10 and you bottomed out. And yet again today, it came literally to the lowest level possible. I guess we just had, really, really tight price action. And who knows, maybe it takes a few days, maybe it takes a few weeks. You never know. It always depends on a bunch of different things. But just looking at this chart, the last 3-4 times the IV rank did come down to this level, Clover did bounce within a week to a couple weeks. Now, alongside this, we were talking about the Webull data, where at these lows that I'm showing you on the price, traders on Webull were able to identify very well that it was time for a move to the upside. You can see why I highlighted over here. The majority of these are green compared to red, right? Over here, it was 50-50, half the people were bullish, half the people bearish. And then the next day, boom, it went pretty bullish. And this was also right over here. If I go back up to this picture, it was around these lows before a move up to 1050. And I'm not going to spend so much time, but same thing happened over here right before the crazy move to all-time highs on Clover. For the second or the last week of May and the first week of June, look how insanely bullish the Webull sentiment was. It was I've never seen it that high. And this was before any crazy move. It was pretty much, we were at $8 and we went to 28 within a few days for Clover. So now we got not the same thing today, but we got a really big jump today. So this was yesterday's pretty much 50-50. But today you can see it's, I don't know the exact percent, but it looks like around 90 to 10 in terms of the bulls. So I was just looking at those 2 points and just to back test this idea. Clover's been on a horrible downtrend since the all-time high at 28, and pretty much right around when it hit that all-time high up until I guess July, but for all of June while Clover was dumping, this was very, very red, apart from a couple days where maybe you had a little bit of a bounce, I don't know. But yeah, these are the 2 things I'm looking at for Clover, and then obviously alongside all the things we've been talking about on the chart, which I can just go to the chart right now. But that's what I was, looking at. That's in the title of the stream. It's what I tweeted out. Just really interesting to me. We're going to see how all this plays out. It doesn't mean for sure Clover is bottomed out. You still have a float with a lot of bag holders, and there's very little volume. And that's like a major issue, because if you don't have volume and 99% of the traders, according to Webull statistics, are bag holding, or at least at a loss currently, you need a lot of demand to bring the price up, right? If everybody is currently wanting to sell, which means there's supply, or 99% of traders want to cut their losses on Webull, you're gonna need a lot of demand, and you can't really get a lot of demand when we're trading, at really, really low volume historically compared to what we were getting a couple months ago. So that's really the primary concern. Obviously, next weekend there's also earnings for Clover, so that can override all of this. That can override the technicals. It can override all of this data I was just talking about. Earnings can do whatever earnings wants to do, right? That's the most important thing, the fundamentals, how the company, presents its guidance, how the expenses look, how the revenue looks. I do not believe that Clover is profitable yet. So I just think it comes down to the revenue. The user growth is also going to be important, and just a bunch of different factors. I'm not the best fundamental analyst, analyst, but obviously that's, the primary thing for the short term. But yeah, we could just go back to the Clover chart now. After about Clover, we are going to talk about the Fisker earnings. I also have that pulled up over here. But yeah, I just want to talk about the Clover chart again. Before I do that, let me take a look at the chat and remind everybody to hit that like button. Let's get 30 likes right now. This is the first stream in a couple weeks that I've had 50 viewers. It's been a pretty dry last few weeks in the stream. So shout out to the 50 people in here. I don't know if anybody gave me shout outs on Twitter, but I assume people did, so appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the technicals on Clover now. Let's see if I miss anything in the chat. How are you doing? Friggin' cards. Let's see. Shadrico Suave says, this is great stuff. It's new insights I haven't seen before. Appreciate that. Try my best. I mean, I was, looking at new data as well. I don't really ever look at, the Webull sentiment. I don't usually look at the historical IV rank. So I was just looking for new stuff today, and it was really interesting to see that. Cheddar Free says, my power just went out. That sucks. Didn't that just happen the other day too? Then we also got Tar Heel Blue in the chat, says, good numbers in the chat, champ vibe. Smash the like, peeps. Appreciate it, Tar Heel, everything you're doing. Your stream today was amazing. You had like over 200 people in, which was insane. I was watching it. And also, this is a great time to talk about it. Me and Tar Heel Blue on Monday morning, pretty much right around the open, are going to be doing a stream together. We're just going to be talking about a bunch of different takers. We're just going to be chopping it up, maybe talk a little bit about Clover as well, look for day trades. It'll probably be a few hours long, so telling you right now, call in sick for Monday, set your calendars, and be there in the morning, watch the stream. I've never really done live trading during the day on a stream. If you're in the premium group, I do day trades in the premium group with the members, but I don't really do it while I'm streaming. So it'll be kind of like a first. I have done day streams before, but I was just kind of sitting on cash and not trading, just looking at the market. So yeah, 9 a.m. EST on Tar Heel's channel. Let me take a look at the channel name. Maybe I can actually drop it in the chat so everybody can go subscribe if you haven't already. Let's see. All right. I don't know why maybe you had like a different, let's see if I can do this correctly. All right, there we go. All right, so this is the channel. Tar Heel will be streaming. I won't be streaming it, but he will. I'm dropping it in the chat. Go subscribe to his channel. And again, like I said, Monday morning, I just dropped it in the chat. Monday morning at 9 a.m. EST, we're going to be doing live trading. So check that out. And be there for sure. Be there. Also, if you're not in the Discord, the link's in the description. We almost have 2,000 members in the Discord. That's where you can get my trade alerts. You can get the live stream alerts. You can get education. You can meet other traders. You can get paid bots for free. Just a bunch of things. Links in the description as always. Anybody can join it and hit that subscribe button. Also, we hit 2,700 subscribers overnight. Thank you very much for that milestone. Let's get some vibes in the chat. And yeah, back to the Clover chart. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily is still there, and it's developing. It's not even developing, but growing. On the 4 hour, it still looks like you could potentially be triple bottoming at the pattern completion zone of a bullish crab harmonic pattern. And as I've been talking about on stream, some people who don't know what this pattern is might think it's just a bunch of BS. Well, we go over here on the daily, come back over here, you can see this was the same exact pattern. It was another bullish crab that formed from December of last year until literally March 5th. And on March 5th, I can pull it up as well. It hit the PCZ, which is the pattern completion zone of this pattern, and that was the all-time low. Since it hit that PCZ, it's never seen 630 again, ever. And I'm not just saying this in hindsight so I can sound smart or whatever. Like, genuinely, I'll pull it up right now. Let's see, March. Right over here. So this was it. It's all time-stamped, as are all of my public trades. This was it right over here. And you can see price was around $7.30, but I put this whole entire box as the entry area. And that was the bullish crab. And it's, you know, it was a great trade. I even cut it, personally, I cut a little bit short, but eventually, I mean, technically this eventually sent it up to 28. But yeah, we have another bullish crab. It's a much smaller one and it's on the 4-hour, not the daily, but same exact pattern, just in case anybody doesn't know what harmonics are in the chat. Shout out to all the people who were here back in March and saw me, I'm not going to say call the all-time low, but try to identify around the price of the all-time low, and we were able to do it. It was a really good time. It was even when the S&P was at the bottom of this broadening wedge, which on that day as well, I said I was super bullish on the S&P to bounce. Just some historical stuff there. But again, history can repeat itself. That's why we look at technicals. We're not trying to, you know, have a magic ball and be moon boys and say, oh my gosh, this thing is going to moon tomorrow. All we're trying to do with technicals is use the past to try and get some probability and just help manage our risk and look for important levels that we can judge our trades around. Even if you're trading because of fundamentals, you can use technicals to find you the better entry areas, the better exit areas, the points of resistance and support, and all that fun stuff. That can just increase your profit margins and lower your loss margins, right? That's why I use technicals. That's really all I try to do. So yeah, for Clover, I've been saying this for a while now. I do feel like a broken record. Technicals have looked good for a while. It's just the bag holders and the low volume are a little bit of an obstacle to get above. We'll see what happens. You did break the falling wedge. At this point, the most important level, I mean, you do have the 785 support, which is your lows from, I think, July 27th. You actually bounced off that again today. So 785 is your closest support for Clover. And then after that, you got 767, which was your low on July 19th. It was your low on June 2nd. It was your high on May 14th. And it was your resistance in the beginning of April. So those are your two closer support levels. And then in terms of resistance, 850 has been the recent resistance right over here. So you can see you've topped out over here, and over here. If it gets above 850, look at this for Clover. Look at that 9. So open interest for the $9 strikes on Clover is 57,000. Okay, if you have 57,000 contracts become in the money, that could be pretty insane, especially if you get some nice volume alongside that on the actual stock. So I hope I don't sound like a broken record. I wouldn't be talking about Clover every single night if I didn't believe in it personally. Doesn't mean it's going to go up for sure. I can be completely wrong. You know, there's no certainty in trading. I'm just trying my best with the tools I have, with the knowledge I have, and time will tell how this all plays out. So I think that's pretty much it for Clover tonight. Yeah, we'll see what this all turns into. Make sure to check out Tar Heel Blue again. He's been covering everything day in and day out, not just from a technical standpoint, but like all the fundamentals and catalysts and the short interest and the failures to deliver and all the stuff that's pretty, let's just call it interesting, that's happening behind the scenes with Clover, the dark pools and everything. We'll see how it all turns out, you know. But yeah, you know, that's really it for Clover. I do personally have a position in it. That's just some honesty right there, but that's really it. You know, we'll see what happens. And yeah, make sure to hit that like button. Let's get to 40 likes right now. If you're not subscribed, like right there, thank you, Narwhal Music, for the subscription. If you're not subscribed, help us get to 3,000 subscribers.